Hi, I'm Krista West of Avalia Folk Embroidery, and in this short video, I want to show you a little trick for working the Byzantine fishbone stitch. It's also known as flat stitch, and it's oftentimes used to work things like petals and leaves because it gives a really beautiful texture to those shapes. You can see it here in the pink little kind of petals or little leaves around these flowers. So where I'm at right now is I've come up at the top of the petal that I'm going to work. Now this is the trick. On your very first stitch, come up there at the top of that and go about maybe halfway down the shape that you're going to do and put a stitch there first. This sort of gives you a little post to work the stitches around. Now you can start working the Byzantine fishbone stitch by coming up and working down like this and kind of almost crisscrossing that first stitch there. I'll work a couple of more so you can see what I'm talking about. And as you work those little crisscross stitches kind of across that little post, that is what is creating that slightly raised effect. And you just keep doing that down the shape like this. Now you don't want to get to working them too wide, or you'll end up with kind of a bit of a mess when you get to the bottom. So as you start getting closer to the bottom, start narrowing those stitches in a little bit. Kind of getting them and kind of slowly drawing those overlapping stitches to a finer point. Whoops, almost got a knot there. And work them pretty close together, pretty tight together. That'll give you a really nice effect. There we go. Yeah, I really like this stitch. You'll notice too, it works up fast. It's a nice stitch for working an area, kind of an area that has a lot of space to fill, because you're taking these kind of great big stitches, but because they're crisscrossing each other, they're kind of holding each other down and they're keeping them in place even though they're kind of big. But it means the work goes really fast. And as you get closer to the bottom, you'll kind of stop overlapping them quite so much and start just using little satin stitches to sort of just gently fill in any sort of little contours. Don't worry too much about crisscrossing all of them. As you can see, you just sort of, when you get to the bottom here, you're just going to work some little crisscrossy. Like just a little, maybe that one crisscrosses a little bit, but the next one I might work just a little small satin stitch like right here, just to kind of fill the shape. Now, preparatory to doing the next one, I'll bring my needle up here and I'll turn my hoop slightly so that I'm again working downwards, and I will take that next one like this and I'll put that first anchor stitch, that kind of post stitch that I can work around, and then I'll continue to work around. Happy stitching!